Hello, Ants. Great
I'm
to
Martin,
speak to you.
and you, mate.
Do you want to say a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. My name's Anthony Rodriguez. I work at the East Surrey Hospital in Red Hill for the NHS, and I'm part of the estates maintenance team that look after and maintain the whole site.
Wow. So I'm guessing things are a little bit different now than maybe what they were like previous. Do you want to explain a little bit about what's been happening these last few weeks?
Yeah, sure. My original job at the hospital is as an electrical supervisor. So I'll be normally looking after anything electrical or any circuits and lighting, etc., that will have electrical hookups for patient equipment, etc. What has actually happened due to the COVID, we are starting to have to cross trade. So we're having to look after a varied array of equipment, not only our own speciality. So we're now looking after medical gas equipment, which goes direct to the patient bedheads, backup emergency power. We're having to do extra checks on backup equipment to make sure generators are running. So that's across my whole team of 18 guys that I've got. So it's a very good learning curve for a lot of them because they're new to site, but it's another broad spectrum of things we look after at the hospital, which a lot of it is behind the scenes. So if anyone ever does come to the trust to look at anything or come for a appointment, you don't always see the other side which we look after. So there's a lot of things from, like I said, ventilation is another thing we've been working on, especially over the last few weeks, where we've had to change over airflows and directions to try and protect patients and our team of nurses and doctors that are looking after everybody. And along with that, we've also got to try and keep a workforce going with people with underlying conditions who are not actually allowed to come to work. So we also end up picking their workload up as well.
Wow. Have you lost any due to illness at all?
I'm lucky to say none of our estates team have been off. They've been off because family members have actually had it. So just for the 2 weeks standard time, or their let's say children may have had symptoms of it, so they've been allowed to take the time off.
Yeah.
So we're lucky that we've not had any long-term people off to keep the team going.
So you've got new things to learn. You've got a smaller staff and workforce than you would normally. What else has changed?
The actual hospital itself, what they've had to do is try and make more intensive care bed spaces available. So what that has is the massive effect that the amount of equipment you need for an intensive care patient to be cared for properly puts more demand onto our site equipment. So what we're having to do is, where we can, shut down areas that are no longer full of patients because those clinics have stopped, to give us back some of the supply we need for this extra demand on, let's say, oxygen and other sources of medical gases. So it's a bit of a juggling act.
Yeah, I suppose we just think, oh, you plug it in and everything, the electricity and the gas is there, but that's obviously not the case.
No, the case is every site you have, any hospital will tell you they're actually spec'd up to the size of the hospital with the design of what it was originally. That's before COVID came in. So yeah, demand and everything else are through the roof at the moment. So we're just trying to keep everything going as best we can with who we've got and what we've got.
Yeah. So for you personally, what would you say are some of the joys, if there aren't any, of work at the moment?
There's always joys. It's a funny thing to say, working at a hospital and this kind of event going on, but one of the joys is, no matter who you speak to in the hospital, whatever grade they are, whatever their job title is, they will always work together with you, and we'll work with them to try and get overall the result at the end, patients well and back home as soon as we can and as safely as we can. So that's one of the joys, really, that we're working as part of a team, and we're only a small link in a chain. I've used that expression a lot of times, and that chain will run and run and run as long as all those chain links are working together. So as long as we get that chain moving, we can keep
Yeah.
people safe and get them back home.
Yeah. So, for example, last week we were interviewing Matt, who's a doctor, and
Yeah.
he's a part of the chain, and you're a part of the chain, and that chain will break down if any of you are unable to do
Yeah,
your job.
the hospital itself runs with, like I said, a varied amount of people through many different skills, be it purchasing, for buying PPE, for our guys doing the maintenance, for Matt and the guys who are looking after the patients directly. It's just one big massive team, and it's just a pleasure to see everything coming together and working so well with what the best we can do with what we've got. So.
Yeah. Now, you've already shared with us some of the challenges of the job. Are there any challenges for you personally that are difficult at this time?
The biggest challenge for me, and this is just my own, let's say, I wish I could do things a lot better, is really organising everything with such a big change that has happened, because we had routines that we'd be doing for maintenance that have had to change and be adapted. We've got a brand new set of shift crews that have started, which is absolutely great, but it's trying to get them the knowledge quickly and get them, involved in it. And the original site knowledge, there's not many of us left that have actually got the history of the site, so where everything is. So it's a big challenge to try and get that information out to the guys and get them to pick it up and learn it. So that's happens in all fields of work, I know, but especially during this time, it's quite a challenge.
Yeah. And also you have a young family, and I'm guessing the demands on you professionally must be difficult for the family work-life balance.
Yeah, it's never easy when you come home and my daughter says to me, "Daddy, I've missed you all day." And it's like, yeah, I really miss them as well. But trying to explain to young people how important it is that they stay at home at the moment, and all us other guys that are still able to go to work, it's for one really good reason we're doing this. And at the end of it, there'll be people talking about this for years, and hopefully between everybody, be that staying at home or hard at work trying to keep things running, we'll get through this together. So they're challenging times.
Yeah. Are there any prayer requests?
For me, next week I'll be going on call as manager for the whole site. That means for 24/7, I'm going to be full responsibility as manager for all what I've just spoken about, be that medical, gas, electrics, etc. So I'll be the go-to person out of hours as well. So I'll be carrying the phone of an evening. More than anything else, really, the prayer I've always wanted is that everyone just keeps going. As I say, not only the NHS guys when we're working, but everyone at home. I know it's not easy. As you said, I've got a family. I know what the struggles are here. We are blessed to have a teacher in our house to teach my children. How other people are doing it, I honestly don't know, because I wouldn't be able to. But really, let's try and all stick together through this hard time. And if we can beat the COVID, let's all try and get home, stay healthy, all those that have been in hospital and everybody else. It will come back to normal. It's just going to take some time to be able to do it.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Ants. Really appreciate that. And I'm sure that many people will be praying for you. So, no, thank you very much for all you do.
Thanks, Martin. Good to speak to you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.